Trump's almost cartoonishly villainous border czar, Tom Homan, ratcheting up the theatrical cruelty by making schools, hospitals, churches, mosques, and other spaces the target of ICE raids, raiding restaurants and construction sites, and shipping migrants to other countries on military aircraft in shackles and handcuffs.
Well, there is a reason illegals are shackled and handcuffed. In September of 2021, Joe Biden used air deportations to move 15,000 mostly Haitian illegals that were living under the Del Rio, Texas International Bridge. Well, on one of those flights, one of the Haitians realized that they're going back to Haiti and not somewhere else in the U.S. Well, when that was the realization, all hell broke loose on the flight. According to the report in the New York Post, the men ripped every window shade, sunshade shade from their moorings, bent most overhead luggage compartment doors off their hinges. They tore seat cushions off frames, then ripped out their stuffing. They destroyed anything destroyable as pilots cowered at the controls behind the locked cabin doors. That was the beginning of a rampage of attempted hijackings, attacks on ICE agents, and mutiny on the ground back in Texas. Well, then the mob stormed aboard and attempted to hijack the second recently arrived flight, this one carrying women and children from Del Rio. Yeah, this all happened. Somehow we all have amnesia about this. Joining us now, Todd Bensman, a senior national security fellow at the Center for Immigration Studies. Todd, you wrote this piece for the Post. We also understand there was an attempted hijacking of that plane, as I briefly referenced. What more can you tell us, and why are these liberal do-gooders who are upset about the conditions of these illegals wrong?
A big takeaway is that the Biden administration decided to deport all those Haitians unrestrained. That's mistake number one. After the Haitians rioted on those first planes, they then mutinied on the ground and took over buses that were taking them to Laughlin Airfield. By the way, I was there on the ground for the entire camp crisis, interviewing all of the migrants on the way, and eventually interviewed a pilot who showed me the cell phone photos that he took of his airplane, what was left of it. They kicked the bus drivers out, took control of the bus, and then drove themselves out into the desert and ran away. That happened multiple times. And there were other attempted hijackings on the ground at Laughlin Air Base. So it was the Biden administration that smartened up and did what Tom Homan is doing right now, which is making sure that they've got leg irons on and shackles, not all of them, but some of them. And one other thing I would mention here is that the category of deportees today are criminal aliens by and large. Those are the ones you least want to trust 40,000 feet up.
Well, Todd, I'm wondering why some of our Democrat friends think defending government waste, defending trans in the military, defending trans in girls' locker rooms, and defending illegals, violent criminal illegals, in these types of scenarios is a winning political strategy. For the life of me, I do not understand that.
Right. Well, the advantage that they're after really is they're saying stop the flights, because the flights are incredibly impactful. When those Haitians were shipped off out of that camp, I was on the Mexican side, and thousands fled that camp back into Mexico. And they said that they were fleeing because they did not want to be deported. Everybody knows that deportation flights are absolutely the most profoundly impactful tactic that the U.S. government can deploy to deter illegal immigration. Everybody knows it, and they want to undermine it.
Well, you start seeing people lined up to be sent back home. It's not worth the trip anymore. Todd, this story was invaluable, and thank Ron Mitchell for bringing it to my memory, because I had forgotten about it. Todd, thank you so much.